What does entrepreneurship teach you? What does entrepreneurship teach you? And so make sure I have my notes, y'all, so that I can stay on target here and set them a clock, developing new skills. And so we all know that when it comes to, I'm going to say this first. When it comes to having a calling, being purpose driven, having a mission, a ministry, a movement, the one thing that we don't take into account is the business side. It kind of reminds me of, let's say, singers and even actors. And well, it'll be, I'll say, the music industry, but I'm gonna say singers in particularly, but really with anything, we don't think about the business side of it, you know? And I kind of really look at, for those of us who are heart centered, and I don't know about the rest of y'all, that transition into entrepreneurship is not easy. It's just part of it, just part of the process. For some people, it may be easy. When it comes to, again, the business part, the stuff that happens in the background, all of that. And so, in saying all of that, if you have a calling, if you are purpose driven, you got to develop some, it's not even the business skill, the business identity. And it is, it is definitely a transition into that transformation. And so. The lessons that entrepreneurship would teach you about yourself, that's pretty much when I entered into starting my business, doing this thing, still in my mind, it was more about, hey, I have this message. I want to motivate people. I want to do this, not realizing of what it really takes. And along the path, if you haven't figured it out already, is that entrepreneurship, it is a spiritual transformation. It is a journey. And there are sprints, but it is the marathon too. And it's one of those things you take, you're up and down, you're in and out of the valley and up and down the mountain. That's the thing. So the thing is, when it comes to entrepreneurship, you have your business goals and all of that. But I'm here to tell you, if you don't have personal goals within that, you're going to be left behind, and it's going to be that much harder for you to develop the identity of a CEO. And it's not just about the business results and the strategy. The main thing that I learned is it reveals your patterns. Because like for those of you who, and I've been in some of those rooms, and even for me, I want to say that those are some struggles that I've overcome, and some of them I still have. Like one of the things is that comes up in different rooms is consistency. But as people say, well, you're consistent in something, but I'm going to say in that it's the patterns and it's your behaviors and habits. And that is why it's so important to be into, rooms, into circles, into communities, not just in learning how to do something, but to help transform you as well. But just to do something. You will definitely see what I'm talking about. So, entrepreneurship didn't just change me, it exposed. It exposed me. And the thing is that you learn it's not just about the business. It is about you. It's almost like a relationship. Oh, y'all, this is a download. Just like in relationships, just like with partnering, just like with whether it's a committed relationship or marriage, in that, if anything, relationships and especially intimate relationship, it is going to bring up everything about your childhood, about you, everything about you. It helps you to develop a relationship with yourself. And that is what entrepreneurship does. It is an intimate relationship with yourself. And let me tell you, even though things may not be easy, but just know it will work out. Just know that it will work out. And so and so and so and so. The thing is that when it comes to your patterns, we're talking about your habits, your your thinking patterns, and your default behaviors. And hear me out on this. This is where you're stuck. Like for those of you who say about consistency, and then another thing that comes up in entrepreneurship, especially when it comes to branding yourself and marketing, you're like, oh, but I don't want to get on camera. I didn't either. Like now I've been on camera for several years, but I got on camera because this was something that I wanted to get better at. Now there's levels to this as well, because I was like, oh, it's like I guess it's been a couple of years now. This one coach that I had, she was telling people like, yeah, when you're like getting on camera and you're doing your thing on social media, it's not just about you getting comfortable. It's also perfecting your message. I was like, oh, that was supposed to be improving too, because I'm thinking, oh, I'm just supposed to feel better. But again, it's about revealing yourself. And the other thing I'm going to say is one of the reasons that some of you may have a hard time is because there's going to be some internal resistance, and then you end up, it's like when it comes to your consistency, it's because it keeps falling back to your core, to your base behavior. You're not accustomed to it. So it's like you got to get it, quote unquote, into your system. That's the reason that you do it over and over and over again, not just in being comfortable, but so that you can kind of like become the person who, and it becomes second nature. It's very similar. Ooh, y'all, these downloads be coming. It's very similar to like exercising. Let's say you want to have a new routine, or you have a personal trainer and you do it and do it. Again, let's say when it comes to losing weight, that is a perfect example. What do most people do? You do everything you need to do to lose the weight. You change your eating habits. You even change how you think about food, think about exercising, and what your goals are. You incorporate different types of exercises. You lose the weight. The majority of people, when they reach that goal, everything's dropped. Now, this is why diet doesn't work. It's a lifestyle. It is a lifestyle. So it's the same thing when it comes to your business, when it comes to entrepreneurship, is that you are integrating new beliefs, new habits, you're developing new patterns for a new way of being, for a new lifestyle. Because like when it comes to the business side of it, it's like some people may be naturally inclined to the concepts, to the tasks, and to everything, but most people aren't. I like to say most, but the majority of people aren't. And this is why you have a hard time. And if anything, it's behavior modification. And so entrepreneurship is developing a relationship with yourself, and it will reveal, just like relationship does, it will reveal weaknesses, your strengths, things you need to work on, things that triggers you, childhood wounds, things that need to be resolved, unresolved issues. It reveals all of those things. And so, in saying that, the thing that it revealed for me, I would say that what it revealed to me is that, and I'm going to say consistency, I'm not going to use that word. For the most part, what I would say, what it revealed to me is comfort, of being comfortable. So how can I make the things that I don't like doing comfortable? You know what I'm saying? It's like, how can you do that? How can you do that? I love to be able to relax because I have been the queen of naps, but the queen of naps, it is counterproductive. It counteracts the tasks and the activities when it comes to running a business, when it comes to your calling. And there is a lot that goes on in the background of like, well, I just want to speak. It's not just want to speak. That's just part of it. So it is the things that you do. So for any experience that you have, it is like what it's going to reveal. And what it revealed to myself, and I'm not going to even say comfort, I'm going to change that because it's not even that's what it is because I'm comfortable. It's just more so of keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. It's more so being able to repeat something over and over again and not going back to like for some people, doom strolling. For me, it's daydreaming. It's like, oh yeah. But it's more so of being neutral. So what about you? Like, what has entrepreneurship revealed about you? And y'all, get out of your feelings. Because I know when it comes to, human nature, you don't want to see yourself in a bad light. It's not that. No matter who you are, no matter how much of a good person, kind person, right person that you are, in that we all have something that we need to work on. And if entrepreneurship is new to you, then there's lots of new things to learn. And so, as I was saying, when it comes to continue to do the same thing over and over again, that means stalling and stopping, procrastinating, delaying. And that's what all of that does because it doesn't allow you to reach your goal. So, with that, if anything that I've learned, to be honest, more so is to have a plan and to complete a full circle of it. Because that's what I realized. It's kind of like, hey, you don't go back. It's like, oh, yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. If there is a task or a project or something that you can complete in one sitting, that is the best thing. But everything isn't like that. So it is really important to be able to have that task, that activity, that project, whatever it is, to break it down. And then that's what they call reverse engineer. Like, what do you need to do to get to that? And there are some things that you may really need to have it into tiny little steps. And that's another conversation regarding that. But also have a plan. Are you going to work on it for 15 minutes, for 25 minutes, for half an hour, for 90 minutes? at a time until you complete it. Because if you do not complete the full cycle of a task, of an activity, of a project, then you will continue to fall back to whatever your baseline is. You will continue to have resistance on whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. And then that's where that start, stop, start, stop. And so this is why it's so important to reflect, to be able to reflect, to sit down with yourself and say, hey, what happened here? What am I doing? What did this reveal about me? What do I need to do? Because if anything, I'm going to say it's two things. We as people, we hadn't really been taught that, to really reflect. It's not a bad thing. It's not a, it doesn't mean that you're nitpicking or what you did wrong. Just to be able to reflect of what the day was like. What did you get accomplished and what didn't you get accomplished? And what you did not get accomplished, what can you do to get it accomplished? And what you got accomplished and what worked. Because that means you do more of it. Now, let me tell you, motivation is not going to always be there. You do want to have a momentum, but motivation is not. It's more so of reaching the goal without motivation. So do not be waiting on motivation. So you're going to reflect. Let's say at the end of the day, or even at the end of a task, especially when you're building a habit. And then you want to review. After you reflect, you want to be able to review the task, the activity, the project, the behavior, whatever that is for you. What worked, what didn't, what needs to change, and what plans of moving forward so that you can complete. Because this is going to decrease that start and stop. Because again, you want to complete the full circle, the full cycle of an experience, of a project. And this is one of the reasons too, you have that, that shiny object syndrome. I know I've been guilty of that. It's like, oh, we got something over here. Let's add this, or let's substitute this, or just don't do that. And then you want to be able to reset. And so that means is the lessons that you learn, or just finish what you started. And so you want to implement, execute, and move sometimes differently as well. Because this is one of the ways that you can break that start and stop cycle when it comes to consistency. And that's basically what consistency is. It's just that you are started and you are stopping and you're waiting for something. So look at your goals. Look at your mission, look at your goals, and better yet, look at the 7 M's. Because with the 7 M's, focus and execution system that I created, that's the thing that's going to help you. The 7 M's is part of a system. I had it in front of me. Oh, let's see. Oh, I must have, well, here it is here. I'll be having it everywhere. But anyway, I want to make sure I say everything. Oh, I had it right there in front of me. I was looking for something else. That's so funny. But anyway, with the 7 M's, even if you just take a snapshot of the 7 M and just look at those and not the entire ecosystem, that is going to get you, to your goals. If you do that on a regular basis and plan, it's pretty much where you're looking at your mission, you're meditating. You got to make sure I don't like to say clear your mind out, but have that clarity and won't be have that mental overload. You're going to motivate, have movement, physical movement, and then also to do at least one task that's related to your goal. You're going to market and you're going to monetize. And so when you have all of those things in place, that is going to help pretty much break that cycle, because that's what happens when it comes to consistency. You really don't have a plan, and then you get so disconnected from the goal. So this helps you to stay connected to that, because again, you want to complete the full cycle of a task, of a project, of an activity. Because if not, by you not doing that, then you become detached to it. Even though we're not attached to the outcome per se, but you want to be attached in some form or fashion. And that's one of the ways that you can, being aware of your actions. That's going to be the thing that's going to help you. And so, if anything, you don't want to continue with the same patterns that you're having, because just look at it. Reflect on that. Reflect on that. Reflect your day, your week, your month, and your quarter. Not just regarding your business, but regarding you. And you want to be able to stay in the cycle, to complete the cycle, to be connected with the cycle, to collaborate with your cycle. And you don't want to feel stuck and unclear, because you'll be lost in the wilderness, on your assignment. And that's what ends up happening. Because I kind of felt like I didn't know it at the time, but when I really look back at it, even though I have been a part of some really good programs, but again, it's about executing and implementing. If you're not executing and implementing the things that they say to do, and depends on, what season that you're in, you may have difficulty. Okay, that's fine, but at some point, you need to pick it up. That's all I gotta say. You need to pick it up. But when I really looked at it, I was like, oh my, I'm saying I got dropped, but I chose. Pretty much sometimes entrepreneurship can kind of feel like that you're in the wilderness. You get dropped into an ocean and you're trying to swim to shore. And so by you reflecting where you are in the ocean, reviewing what steps you need to take to get to, it may not even be the shore, it may be your own personal island. And then to be able to reset, to do the things that need to be done in order to, you know, not be drowning anymore. But anyway, the main thing is to take one task at a time, one activity at a time, one project. And of course, with those projects, they can be broken down into activities and tasks of the day to get you to your goal. But review them often. And if anything, sit back and look to see look at what your patterns are. Because my patterns was started and stopping, and I wasn't completing a full cycle, quote unquote, of an experience. It's kind of similar to sometimes just in life, sometimes we can have difficulties, let's say with something, we can be activated, what someone has said, what someone has done, or, we may not even know why we're activated, but we are. But sometimes that is because, and it's different for everyone, but sometimes it's because we may not always experience the full expression of an emotion. And when we don't have that full cycle to allow it to exit, then we get stuck. And so sometimes, even in our business, we get stuck because we're not completing the full cycle of a task, the full cycle of an activity, the full cycle of a project. And so, the more that you're able to do that, then that's going to help you out. And the 7M is one of those ways that help you stay on target. And again, it is a focus and execution system, because that's one of the things I created it because I saw, where I was struggling. It's like I get all of this information, but when I turn off the Zoom, or let's say get back home, and it's like do 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 do, because there wasn't a really good framework for me. Even though you can use other people's framework, and I'm telling you, you can use this framework, but at the same time, you still kind of need your own framework in order to, work out on things. And so remember, when it comes to entrepreneurship, you can have the blueprint, but you got to execute it. And that's where some of you may be stuck in executing it. And the 7M's is one of the ways that you can do that. It helps you to execute, it helps you to see the picture. The other thing about it is, because when you print out like the entire ecosystem of the 7M's, in that you can go back, and look at the past 7 days, the past 14 days, the past, month, the past quarter, to see where your patterns are, to see where you're lacking. Because when you're running a business, you got to create a system, you know what I mean? And so, in saying all that, reflect on what happened, review what needs to change, and reset to move forward. And if you're tired of starting and stopping, and you're actually ready to follow through, go ahead and grab the 7M focus and execution system. You got to have a system. And the other thing that I would say that I learned is that not unless you have experience from somewhere, you're going to need a framework. And so the 7M is a framework to help you with that. And that's exactly why I created it, because I'm like, I know I'm not the only one that is experiencing this, that's struggling with this. And I'm in some different rooms, and I hear it and I see it as well. And so for those of you who are ready, to pretty much just say, hey, when it comes to entrepreneurship is you're going to, like, whatever it reveals for you, you want to be able to reset it, so comment reset so that you can get the 7M to help you on the road of entrepreneurship. All right.